हेलो दोस्तों, मैं चेष्टा आपकी होस्ट आपका स्वागत करती हूँ डिफिकल्ट कॉन्वर्सेशंस में। टुडे वी हैव विद अस तेजेस्वर। वेलकम तेज, थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग अस टुडे।
Thank you for having me here today.
शेन कोएजन एक कैनेडियन स्पोकन पोएट और राइटर हैं और वो कहते हैं, इफ योर हार्ट इज ब्रोकन, मेक आर्ट विद द पीसेस। With that background, Tej and I share a love for travel and everything artsy. He's a vibrant, multi-talented individual who is always curious to learn new skills, चाहे वो एक डांस फॉर्म हो, चाहे एक नई लैंग्वेज हो, और चाहे crocheting हो. He's also an active voice on social issues like gender, caste, class, regionalism, and associated barriers and discrimination. लेकिन आज तेज हमारे साथ अपने चाइल्डहुड का एक बहुत ही सेंसिटिव हिस्सा शेयर करने जा रहे हैं। चाइल्ड सेक्सुअल अब्यूज एक ऐसा इवेंट जिससे ना केवल एक बच्चे की इनोसेंस चली जाती है, बट उसके जहन में एक लाइफ लॉन्ग ट्रॉमा और कांस्टेंट फियर बन जाता है फॉर बिल्डिंग हेल्दी एंड ट्रस्टिंग रिलेशनशिप्स। Tej has kindly agreed to share with us this extremely difficult emotional and physical experience with us. We hope that through him and through this episode, you may find your voice and peace. So let us talk to him. Hello, Tej. Thank you once again. What is going on in your mind? You're sitting today here with us on this couch.
Exactly, nothing is kind of anxiety, I would say, because I'm going to share something that I haven't shared with many people. Maybe with the people that I'm close to, or few friends, maybe, because I haven't spoken that to anyone, because it's a part of my personal thing. And I feel that I should speak about it, here or anywhere also, so that people can be aware about those issues. Because basically we just hide or don't share with a shame or guilty or scared or something like that. So today I feel like I'm kind of anxious to share that, because it's not so easy to tell your story, because it takes back you to the incident, because you have to go back to the incident that you had gone through. And it's not that easy to share with everyone, because it's very personal. It's not a public thing that you share to everyone, because it's a personal thing. So that is what I feel. But I think it's time for me to speak up to the public, so that they can relate, or they can see that what I had gone through, and they can relate to it, or how I come out of it, or how I'm feeling now after all this. At the end, I'm a human also.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely understand that it's a very sensitive topic, and not now, but going through it and in the subsequent years, we associate shame with it. ऐसे लगता है कि शायद हमने कुछ गलत तो नहीं कर दिया, या हमारे साथ ही ऐसा क्यों हुआ. So I totally understand that. So when did you first realize that it was actually sexual abuse?
I think it took me time for me to realize, because if I tell you the incident, because I think the incident happened when I was like 3, so or 4 maybe, because it's like kind of blurred to me, because I don't see that clear, because I was such a small child. And the incident, it's not only the one incident after another incident after another incident, so it leads until you are adult. I think it's later, I would say, when I'm adult, or now, for example, because हमारे इंडिया में इतना अवेयरनेस नहीं है कि किसको सेक्सुअल अब्यूज बोले, किसको ना बोले, because everything is normal. So we don't know what to say sexual abuse, because we don't have that in our education, or someone to tell you that this is wrong. So I think now, maybe 4 or 5 years or 5 6 years back, that I would realize that this sexual abuse, because I knew from the beginning or from the childhood that it's something wrong happened to me. But I never knew okay, this is sexual abuse, we say. It's for that what you read in a book, or what you will learn from different things. But I knew that something wrong happened to me while growing up.
So was there any specific incidents, or you read something, or someone told you something that made you realize that?
No, it was like a self journey, because I'm a very secret person. I don't share my personal thing with many people, because I try to be maybe the nice person for people, like a idol, not idol I would say, but like a nice person for people.
Cheerful joy,
Cheerful joy, because you don't show your saddest part to the people, because maybe they will judge, they will not, because the place I come from. So it took a time for me to come up to this stage. So it was me, I think it was not someone who told me. I think with the journey of the life that I understood this was sexual abuse.
तो जब समझ आया कि ओके ये सेक्सुअल अब्यूज है, तो फिर कुछ इमोशंस में कुछ चेंज आया, कुछ फीलिंग्स में चेंज आया, या किसी समझ में आपकी में चेंज आया कुछ?
I would say, like, because it's a long process, emotionally, I think it did, because there are different incidents that I would like to address, because it's not only if you talk about like sexual abuse, because people would not know what a sexual abuse is, because there are different forms. If you just show a pornography picture or movie to a child, it's a sexual abuse.
Right.
Or showing your genital, like an adult showing your genital to a child or something, that is a sexual abuse.
Yeah.
It's not only that you are having a physical,
someone touching you.
Yeah, that is not only that. So if I say, like, because the journey is like, when I was like 3, so basically there was one guy who used to, not only me, it was not only me, it was like other children, but I can like not remember, but not like clearly, because I was a child, like 3 or 4. So that was the first time, like I would say. Then there are many incidents, but like that time there was like a guy who used to work in the bank. Maybe I think he was working as a peon or something. So so basically the women who had children and they used to do their household work, so they used to give the children to that guy to take them and play with them. So he used to take, like, it's not only boys, I think I can remember there are girls also, like with like my age, like 3-4 year maybe. So he used to take us to the his house, and he used to close the door, and then he used to go to the bathroom, and he used to masturbate. So, and as a child, I think I remember, like, we were standing there in one room and watching him doing that. So that is the only thing that came to, like, until I'm 37, 38, but still I remember all this, because it's not something that goes away from your life. Right. And secondly, like, and then another, like, even about that person, because he's no more. Like, even, like, you can imagine, like, when I'm a child and like 3 or 4, and then I had seen all this, and then at I think 4 or 5 or something, because my parents transferred from that particular place to another place, and then we were visiting that place, and suddenly I realized that that person is dead. Okay, for some reason, I don't know why. And as a child, like 4 or 5, I was happy, kind of happy that he's dead. Even, like, you can imagine, like, एक छोटा बच्चा कैसे वो सोच सकता है कि कोई मर गया तो उसको कैसे खुशी हो सकता है, right? But I don't know, it's like unknown, like inside I felt like, oh, I was very happy that he's dead. Maybe it was like the trauma that I was going through, because he was doing that, and I don't have to see that again, or I don't have to face that person like that. I was like 9 or 10 or maybe 11, 12 or something like that, maybe 10 probably. While we are in Bhubaneswar, so basically we used to use like a public transport. Okay. Or you get into the bus, and then if it is full, so your parents are standing, and then there are people like who are sitting, and they were like, oh, आ जाओ बैठ जाओ यहाँ पे, वहाँ पे क्यों खड़े हो, छोटे बच्चे हो, तुम जा नहीं पाओगे. And parents would not think, because generally in India people doesn't have sense of, like, people can molest you or do such kind of nasty thing to children. So they were like, oh, come यहाँ पे बैठ जाओ, ऊपर बैठ जाओ, क्यों खड़े हो, पेट दर्द होगा. But like, you would see that there is something going on. Even you are as a child, you would not know like what is going on, but like, you can feel there is something wrong. So that you would feel. And after that, like, even like I would say, like, I didn't speak up about this, or the sexual abuse or any kind of form of sexual abuse, that I think it happened until 2017, I would say. And then even I know, like, I can escape those things, because I can avoid. But after 2017, I think I would say, like, no, this is not something right, and I should speak up, or I should tell these people to stop, because this is something going beyond. And if you say emotionally, if you talk about, like, of course it is, because and every child deserves a better life. And then children are very innocent, because since I'm working basically on women and children, and like, primarily for past few years I've been working on children on different issues. It is a big trauma for a children if they had to go through this, because it's not a normal childhood for them, because everything you learn with a time, with a pace, but you should not learn things that not supposed to learn at that age, because you're supposed to learn that when you are adult.
Yeah.
So that is what I feel, or I miss, that I never had the fair chance of enjoy my childhood.
So I think, as we spoke earlier, it's a loss of innocence. कि वो एक carefree world होता है, वो शायद उसका कुछ हिस्सा चला जाता है, because you get to know something that maybe you'll get to know later. तो जब ये हुआ, तो I'm sure तब तो समझ नहीं आया होगा कि क्या हुआ, right? But as you're saying, I became happy, or I would say it must have been relief,
Exactly.
when that person must have died. So was there a feeling of, uncomfortable, कि ये इंसान के साथ, मतलब I'm sure कि वो पहली बार तो ऐसा नहीं हुआ होगा, कई बारी वो आप लोगों को रखते होंगे, and कई इंसिडेंसेस होते होंगे. तो जब भी आपने ऑब्जर्व किया कि वो मैस्टरबेट कर रहे हैं एंड यू वर इन द रूम, क्या उसके बाद भी वो आपके केयरटेकर रहे, एंड हाउ डिड इट मेक यू फील? कैन यू रिकॉल दैट?
No, because he was the caretaker, because at the age of 3 or 4, what you do, go and tell your parents, because it was like maybe 90s or something, like, because if I born in 86, must be like it was 1990 or 1991. So, and even till date also, people don't know what is child sexual abuse. So in that time, how would a parent would know? Because that time everyone needs a caretaker to look after children, so that parents can do their job, the father can do the job, mother can look after the house and stuff like that. So it was happening. I would say it was happening. Maybe I don't remember. Maybe 2-3 times. I don't remember, because I was
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, but it was happening. But he was the caretaker until we left that place, because he was nice to the, like, what it was happening. It was inside the house. So what outside the world, no one knew.
Right.
So he was continuing, because no child would go and tell that he was doing that. Even you sewing, or maybe I was sewing, or any other child would go and show that house, that something, some gesture, but parents would not guess that.
Yeah, and even like the child won't know what to explain to parents. Exactly. Also. But कभी ऐसा होता था कि आज केयरटेकर लेके जाएंगे तुम, कभी ऐसा हुआ कि आज मुझे नहीं जाना उनके साथ, ऐसे हुआ कभी?
It was not like that, because it was always in a group, because it was not only me who was going. So when it is group, like, you will feel like, okay, I'm going with other friends. So it will be fun, like to go with other children also. But you never know that guy, person will take you to that same place. And you don't know that act. What is that act is going on? So you, if I'm a bit older, probably I would, oh no, this is a bad thing, so I should not go. I can say, like, no, I would not go. But at the age of 3 or 4, what would you say? Because you don't know if someone is taking you for playing with other children, so probably you would be happy to go. I would say, or you just go because you don't cry, and you are familiar because that guy is coming to your house. So there you are more, because it's a small setup or small village. So you just know that person, like, because you see that person often, so you would just go with them. Right. And probably as a child, you may not associate it with harm. Yeah. Mortal danger होता है तो फिर भी बच्चे शायद शोर मचाएंगे, बट अगर mortal danger नहीं है तो शायद हमें हो जाता है ना, भूल जाते हैं, बच्चे हैं ना, तो फिर भूल भी जाते हैं उसको बाद में. Exactly. तो अगर मैं पूछूं कि बिकॉज आप बहुत छोटे थे और इतनी समझ नहीं थी, क्या सबकॉन्शियसली कुछ ऐसी चीजें हैं which built up within yourself due to such incidences in your life? क्या आप रिफ्लेक्ट कर सकते हैं ऐसी चीजों पे? I don't know how to answer this one, but I would say it was kind of empty, like in the life, but I don't know how to say that. Maybe I was kind of scared of people, like, or because even till date, like, if someone touched me, like especially men, so I would know whether it is a good touch or a bad touch. Even I'm like an adult, even someone pass in a metro or in a bus or road or something, if someone touch you, so you would know whether it is a good touch or a bad touch. But I would know, like, immediately what is the intention of that person, because with that touch, because I have gone through since childhood with the all this incident. So I would say that now I'm working on children. So I would say like a 1 or 2 years back, I was working on uh, sexual abuse, like a questionnaire. And maybe for other people, those who never experience, never hear or something, maybe it's kind of funny. But those who had gone through it, I think it's kind of difficult, because while framing the question also, it was difficult for me, because I can put all the tick in the box saying that, okay, he touched me, or it happened here, or happened there. So I could, because that is what I was thinking. And and when people they talk about it or laugh about it, it was kind of hurtful also, because it was not you, because I am the victim, or I am the person who had gone through it. So I know the pain of that incident. It's not something to joke about or something.
So, who was the first person you ever spoke about this incident with?
I think a counselor maybe.
Okay. Okay.
And later, because I was very close person for until my PhD, maybe like 2022, or I think not even PhD. I think I spoke about it in 2016 or 17, maybe in TISS Bombay.
Okay. Okay.
To the counselor. But for me, because I was going through some problem, and I thought like, okay, since they were giving some counseling, so let me go and
Okay,
check.
let me try.
Because I don't trust people, so because I have a trust issue also.
Right.
And then because I don't know how much I would trust you, like if I ask you something and you will give me a counseling, how would I know like you are giving me the right answer, because you are not in my shoes, because every person has a different life experience. And maybe you'd be like a bias or judgmental or something. So I think that is the I think the counselor is the first person that I shared. And then while working, then I saw like because you need also time to see this is okay to talk about. So then I started speaking to my like friends or colleague, those who are close to me.
So how can you share a bit about your experience with the counselor?
I spoke about her about this process, about my childhood, and then I think it went well, but I was not very satisfied with the counselor, I would say, because you know yourself better than anyone else, because you know because when you read or your own experience also. And so it went well, because you sometimes just go to the council just to hear the different perspective. That's it.
Also just to speak, because then it's a non-judgmental space.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the burden that the other person knows me and they will judge me for something goes away, I guess.
Exactly. But I think it is more difficult also, like unless until you are independent, I think it's easier to go and talk to people rather than the other people who are not independent yet. Because when you are independent, you are earning yourself. Probably you say, okay, I am earning, I'm independent, so I can go and talk anything I want. Because people sometimes they get fear also. What I say, it does this will have like a affect my life or something like that. I would say, because it took me time, because you can imagine, even if I went through so much education like a MPhil or PhD, whatever, but it took me a while to go to the counselor and talk to, because the counselor was there all the time in my campus.
Right. So maybe the counselor may not have helped you so much, but just the process of it, that, oh, you spoke about something, maybe that was important to you. That's why we speak about things which are important to us or which are hidden, and we're not comfortable talking about such things. So did you come back home or to your room in the hostel and think, why did I talk about this today? Did you reflect on it?
I think I wanted to hear something different from other person or different perspective, so that I think if you are, because since the counseling is a very close indoor thing, so if you speak to one person, then you can have more confident to speak to other person, because at least you went out your things to someone unknown, so it means you can go and speak to other person.
It gives you the confidence that now you
exactly.
can talk.
Yeah.
So then, whom did you talk to beyond the counselor?
I think after that I started talking to telling to my friends, because the another thing, like child sexual abuse is there, but there is a gender lens to it also. So normally people don't see like when the Me Too movement also came. So every women were putting Me Too on social media and stuff like that. And then I put also because men can be sexually abused, right? So I think I spoke to my more female friends because they also need to know that men can go through all this. It's not only their say like the incident that goes with the women only, but with the men also, and can be more because it's a man, and they can be like silent because it's a kind of shame for the society, and men has to be like men to show to the world that you are strong and thing like that because you are not a woman, so no one can molest and blah blah blah. So that thing come in the mind, and it's easier for the even those who um, do such act because they mostly target the men because they think like it's more safe compared to women because women can go and tell to family, it can be shame and blah blah blah. So if you do with a man, so it will be more secret, or the child it will be more secret.
आई थिंक ये बहुत ज़रूरी है समझना। आई मीन हम दोनों एक ऐसे स्कूल से आते हैं कि जहाँ पे इन चीज़ों के बारे में बात की जाती है, पर दुनिया के लिए समझना ज़रूरी है कि सेक्सुअल अब्यूज सिर्फ फीमेल्स का नहीं होता, इट इज़ मच बिगर एंड मच बियॉन्ड दैट। और आई थिंक आई होप दिस एपिसोड brings that awareness that males, other genders can also go through sexual abuses. I think that's a very important point. तो जब आपने शेयर करना शुरू किया और लोगों के साथ, तो डिड यू फाइंड कि अरे ये तो ओवर रिएक्ट कर रहा है, ऐसा तो कुछ हुआ भी नहीं, इतना बड़ा तो कुछ हुआ, करते हैं ना लोग, इतना बड़ा तो कुछ हुआ भी नहीं, ऐसा मिला कभी आपको रिस्पॉन्स किसी से?
No, I think I don't make friends like lots of friends. I'm very picking friends, and then those friends I can emotionally attach with because friends are the one who will stay with you forever. So I never had such friend like who would, because they understand me completely. So they agreed or they understood me completely that oh probably it happened to you. I can understand, or they feel sorry for that.
And then did you hear more stories? और स्टोरीज सुनने, जैसे होता है ना हम अपनी स्टोरी बताते हैं तो हमें और लोगों की स्टोरीज भी सुनने को मिलती हैं, तो फिर क्या ऐसा हुआ कि कुछ आपके जो मेल फ्रेंड्स थे, did they share their stories with
I
you?
think male never like they open up about this because they have to show that they are men. I never heard about sexual abuse. Like I hear like mostly in the social media or internet or stuff like that or newspaper. I would like I have seen, but in my friend circle never, because you are men, so people because most of the men are also not aware like this is sexual abuse, so they don't know like this because the sex is between only men and women. That is what we have learned so far from the society. So even something happened to a man, so they would not recognize the sexual abuse. So I never hear anything something like that from any of my male friends. I would say.
So do you think that being in Tata Institute of Social Sciences gave you kind of a special advantage to understand this better, because you have also worked through education and experience on those issues? Do you think that because of that special advantage, you could tackle it better with time?
I think it was the institute as well as the Bombay, I would say.
Okay.
Because Mumbai or Bombay, that gives you more freedom to reflect or meet people or to know yourself. So if I would, I come from Odisha, so if I was in Odisha, probably I would not know all this, or I would not talk or something. My life would be different. So since I moved to metro cities like Bombay, and then a very liberal or progressive institute, so where you can talk about those things, or you talk with your friends, like a female friend, because there's no gender segregation in the campus. So that give me more like a scope to talk about it. But I would still say like, because even I was in Bombay or I was in TISS, I think I would like, as I said, like until 2017, those things were happening, like small incident, like for example in Bombay locals, when you go in locals, like people stand next to you, try to touch you or touch your private part. It happened many times with me, and then I never reacted because maybe I thought what I'll react to it, or okay, the next stop, go only will come, so I'll just get down. So nothing will happen. So that person will go, I'll just go to my campus. Or like the last incident, I would say, for example, when I was coming from a field work from, there were two incidents in Madurai actually. When I was in Madurai, my field work, you can imagine, I'm a big man. Okay. And another thing, you are not going and telling people to come or molest you or anything.
Right.
So like there are actually three incidents in Madurai like that happened to me. After that, I said, no, this is too much. And if someone has interest, also they should be more like a consent. Like you should take a consent of someone and then do things. You cannot just come and do like that. So like when I was in Madurai for my field work, and that time there are two incidents. Like one, because like we used to stay like a month in each places for field work. Okay. And then for that you have to look for a hotel. So I went to one hotel. Like I was going to different hotel because you have a budget also that you have to go in that budget only. So you go to all the good hotels, city hotel, but in your budget. So I went to one hotel. Suddenly I was chatting with the uncle, and then he said, one guy came, and then he said, okay, I'll take you to the room and show you. The moment he entered and like the moment he touched, I knew that there is something wrong. Because I told you, like the moment men touch me, I would know whether it's a good or a bad touch. So then we go up, and then he started touching me, and then I like, no, what are you doing? And then because since I'm already had gone through this, so I cannot go like immediately give back, because my from the childhood is like something that you close immediately, that you don't. You want to just protect yourself. Yeah. So I said, no, I will. Don't worry, I will take this hotel. I'll come back because I'm going to stay for 30 days. So this can happen later, but let me go back. So I left one. And secondly, I was going to one museum, like it was like a holiday or something. So I went to a museum and coming up. There's one random person like just came and just stopped, and then I said, oh, are you a foreigner? I said, no, I'm not a foreigner. I'm from Bombay. And then I go, no, sit down in my bike. I will drop you. I said, I don't need. I have a Uber, Ola. I can take it. Third incident, like I was coming from Madurai to Bombay, and then in the train, I was playing. There was a family in front of me with two girl child, and the wife was there. The man was there. I think they were getting down in Gulbarga, Karnataka. And that I was playing like in the whole day, like with the children, because I love children. So I was talking with them. The children were very smart. And then the moment like in the night, I slept in the middle, and the guy was sitting down, and he started touching me from the down. So that is the time, like then I said, no, this is enough. I think I should protest. Like people say, no, this is not all right. Okay, and you should not do this to anyone, just like for your own fantasy or own pleasure, because you need to think about other person. Right.
So, as you said, the last incidents जो आप बता रहे हो कि आपने आवाज उठाई, तो जिन incidences पे आपने आवाज नहीं उठाई, तो कभी आके आपको ऐसे लगता था कि यार मुझे आवाज उठानी चाहिए थी, ऐसे गिल्ट टाइप होता था या रिग्रेट होती थी?
I think I feel a guilt like now, because I was always like keeping that secret to me, not sharing with anyone, because there was no one to talk about, and you are a man, so or even a male child, so you are not allowed to talk, because otherwise people would see you indifferently. Why it's happening only with him, not with anyone else? Because there are so many cases like that. So I was always keeping that secretly to me. So I feel a guilt, like but it's okay also at the same time, because it's a process, like because it takes your life journey to realize that this is the time for you to speak up, because you are from childhood, you are not like मुझे अभी ही झंडा उठाना है और चाहिए, because it takes time also. So that is what I felt. But I sometimes I feel guilty. It's not like I should fight back, because I was not capable, because you are alone. Because it's not something happened to a group or something. It was always you alone. So, and the person who's doing it, they were more powerful. That's the reason they are doing it to you. Right. Otherwise, they would not do you if they are less powerful than you. So, I think if even I feel guilty that I never spoke about it to anyone, but I think if I had done that, maybe something would happen also that time. You never know. Right. So maybe physical violence or something, you never know. Or people would blame you, maybe, or that person will blame you that you are a bad person or something.
तो कभी गुस्सा आता है, like ये कैसे लोग हैं बार बार ऐसे हरकतें करते से बाहर?
Not मेरे साथ ऐसे हो रहा है. I think it happens with everyone, I guess. It's not only me. I think not to the world, or the nasty people, those who does those things with a intention. It's like not unintentional they करते नहीं है वो लोग, intention के साथ ही करते हैं. तो I think गुस्सा आता है only by those who are like those kind of people. Not to the whole world. Like the whole world is not that bad. Like only those people who are like kind of cuckoo in their head. So probably that is the people like I get angry because why they are doing this. Or even now also like why are you touching me? Because it's a private space. Because we, even like I think in India people often forget the private space because people come so close to you. Even metro and anyway like just close to I भाई हमें नहीं चाहिए तुम्हारा इतना पास में आने का क्या है. Right. And I think it's a suppressed response because I've also been a victim in my teenage years. So now what happens is that मुझे कोई अगर बिना बताए हाथ लगा देता है, even they'll just touch my hand, I'll be like, no, you are supposed to be in front of my face and then touch me even on my hand. So the reaction is that deep. I think हम realize नहीं करते. But I think these subconscious reactions also come from there that we somehow become uncomfortable with, physical touch because there's always this fear कि यार कोई शायद गलत हाथ ना लगा दे और like महिलाओं के साथ तो होता ही है सबको मालूम है. Exactly. But I think it's very important for our audience to understand कि it is equally happening to men also. It's not such a hidden thing. शायद जितना लड़कियों या औरतों के साथ होता है उतना ही मर्दों और लड़कों के साथ भी होता है. I think it's a very critical thing for people to understand. Exactly. The private space people need to understand because just because I'm a man doesn't mean that I need 10 men around me. Right. I need a space. I need my private space. Right. To let like whom I want to let in or not let out. Right. लेकिन वो हमारा थोड़ा समझ में निकल जाता है कि हमें लोगों को वो प्राइवेसी देना चाहिए, वो प्राइवेट स्पेस देना चाहिए. राइट. तो तेज आपके इंटीमेट रिलेशनशिप्स रहे होंगे एंड आई नो यू हैव अ पार्टनर राइट नाउ. तो आपको लगता है कि दिस एपिसोड और दीज मल्टीपल सेट ऑफ एपिसोड हैज अफेक्टेड योर रिलेशनशिप in some way or the other? Not really, I would say. Because जो भी इंसिडेंट मेरे साथ हुआ है, I question myself. Okay. Whether I got a fair chance to experience all the things that any other normal child would get. That is what I feel. That never happened with anyone, not even with any relationship. I would say. तो मेरे पूछने का मतलब ये था कि कई बार क्या होता है आप सेक्सुअल अब्यूज से गुजरते हैं तो ट्रस्ट इश्यूज हो जाते हैं रिलेशनशिप्स में, स्पेशली because you have to open up emotionally, physically to a person, in intimacy. Exactly. तो ऐसा कभी हुआ कि कुछ subconsciously affect कर गया from your side towards your partner and not from the other side? Not really. Okay. नहीं. Okay, that's beautiful actually. Yeah. Because those incidents are different. Like because I cannot hamper one relationship or one thing for because of another thing because there are other different set of incident. So even like what I am today, like if I would just think about that and just stay with that, then probably I would not like achieve my goal in life. So every incident is a different set of thing. So I never let them to hamper each other, I would say. Right. So I'm sure आपके कुछ friends भी रहे होंगे who have gone through such issues, right? Were you able to help them with your knowledge and your experience on how to tackle it, what to do about it? पहला चीज ये है कि like once I was aware about those issues and now I know like I don't want any child to go through it or anyone from my family to go through it. So before giving to the child to anyone, then you have to see like you have to do all the background checkup and then give to, because you cannot trust anyone in this world now. Like right now it's very difficult also. The kind of people go through, the kind of things they see and they try to do that with child because you cannot do with the adult because they can protest or they can fight. So you try to do that with the children. So I try to save as much as children from that. Even for my family also I try to see like whom they are giving. They are not living with any other, even with the relatives, I would say. You never know. तो मतलब क्या ऐसा कह सकते हैं कि
because of this experience and your learnings आप खुद भी थोड़ा हाइपर सेंसिटिव हो गए हैं इस इशू को लेकर और हाइपर एक्टिव रहते हैं जब जैसे बच्चे हो गए या आप एक क्लोज स्पेस में हैं और एक चांस हो सकता है कि कोई आपको गलत तरीके से टच कर दे तो लगता है थोड़ा हाइपर सेंसिटिविटी हो गई है इस वजह से
I think I do actually, like many times, and I'm very like hyper for the children also. Like even घर के कोई बच्चे किसी को दे रहे something, मैं नहीं होगा भी तो मैं थोड़ा ज्यादा ही और ज्यादा सी because no one no I think कोई भी children वो ये में जाना नहीं चाहिए like जो मैं गया हूँ because they deserve a normal childhood. They have they deserve a normal set of life thing that they need to know. They doesn't deserve to know from the beginning.
Right.
So why children would, because it's a trauma that stay with you forever.
Right.
And probably like when I'm in my deathbed, probably I would think about this because it stays with you forever because it came in during my childhood.
Right.
So I don't want that happen to anyone, like any child, because it's a trauma that stay with you forever.
Right.
And many of my friends also, they shared their own share of sexual abuse. So especially the female, not the male.
Right.
So I can imagine because it stays with them like forever.
No, I can understand that because it has stayed with me forever. And Delhi जैसी city में तो females के साथ public transport में आप चले गए चलते फिरते भीड़ का इलाका है तो people touch you anywhere possible. मतलब कई बार तो ऐसे होता है कि बस हाथ लगाना है it doesn't matter कहाँ लगा रहे हैं बस हाथ लगना चाहिए महिला के शरीर को. तो मेरी हाइपर सेंसिटिविटी हो गई है कि अगर मैं किसी महिला के साथ जा रही हूँ या बच्चे हैं मेरे साथ लड़कियां स्पेशली तो मुझे पता है कि किस तरीके से आदमी उसको हाथ लगा सकता है तो आई विल ट्राई कि यंग लड़की है जिसको नहीं इतना समझ आएगा तो आई विल ट्राई एंड पुश देम अहेड ऑफ मी यू गो अहेड आई वॉच she may have not asked me but I will watch over her कि another man is not troubling her or not touching her or I'll be hypersensitive of a man, कि okay, this person is not right, and maybe they will try something, with the girl or with the woman. So that has happened, I think, with time. पहले as you were saying, थोड़ा हमको डर लगता है. अकेले होते हैं, हम छोटे होते हैं, तो हमको लगता है आवाज उठाएंगे तो पता लगे, पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा. And you're also trying to protect yourself, your body, and everything. पर जैसे जैसे अब हम बड़े हो रहे हैं तो आई थिंक समझ आ रहा है कि नहीं, आप चिल्ला सकते हो, धक्का दे सकते हो, आप 4 लोगों के सामने एक सीन बना सकते हो, तो कुछ नहीं होगा, प्रोटेक्ट तो हो जाओगे ना. आपको कोई हाथ तो नहीं लगाएगा ना, और कुछ तो आप नहीं कर सकते. मतलब इंडिया में तो अभी उतनी सेंसिटिविटी है नहीं, आ रही है, but
I think it's more important for both, not because I think women or female, they know because from childhood it's a patriarchal society, so women always kind of like protective in their family, and they protect their own body at the same time, but not the male child. So we need also to make aware all the male and female child about those things, so they can protect each other at the same time. Right. Because maybe the female will go and tell to the male child, or male child go to tell to the female child, or to brother and sister. So if the brother would not know that what he's going through with his sister, how he will go and help her? Absolutely. Right? Or how the sister will go and help the brother. Mm-hmm. So it's very important also to make aware people about those things, irrespective of gender. Right. And also I think sexual abuse is something, because it's a personal, private issue, which is often associated with shame, तो एक ऑनर इशू भी बन जाता है बहुत लोगों के लिए कि अरे ये बात, कई बार परिवार को पता होता है कि ये रिश्तेदार ने ही ऐसे किया है, बट वो उसको बाहर नहीं जाने देना चाहते क्योंकि ऑनर अटैच हो जाता है ना. Exactly. कि कोई हमारी फैमिली के बारे में क्या सोचेगा, बेटे की शादी नहीं होगी, या बेटे के साथ अगर ये हुआ है तो बोलेंगे बेटे का कैरेक्टर कुछ ठीक नहीं है, एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. Exactly. I think ऑनर का भी शायद हमारे देश में काफी. Exactly. But I think that attach more with the female, I would say. Mm-hmm. And there are many cases also, like even if you see those national crime NCRB report, like the crime report that government of India released, you would see very less like a reporting, because in India we don't report many things. कभी ऐसे भी हो सकता है, इस child sexual abuse is not related only that the outsider will be the one who will do such thing. It can be someone from your family also. So you never know. And then when it is come to the family, it's more private. Even if the children had to go through those things, but no one would speak about because it's someone from your family. But you have to also understand that the child has to go through psychologically so much of trouble or problem for whole life, which would affect her or him life, like her or his life, not only the life but even the education, everything. So it will spoil that, like the whole life of that particular child. So we have to speak about it because like it's not only the outsider who does those things. Absolutely. Even the insider of the house.
Absolutely. तेज, मेरा एक और सवाल है कि जैसे पहले आपने कहा कि काउंसलिंग से जो मेरी उम्मीद थी वो शायद उतनी पूरी नहीं हुई जब मैं काउंसलर के पास गया. And of course, you just have that experience. I don't know whether you have been to other counselors or not. But do you think India में अभी therapy or counseling for sensitive issues need to improve, become wider, थोड़ा mass level पे और अच्छे से quality level पे होना चाहिए? Do you have some opinion about it?
I think I do, actually, because there are so many things. It's not only child sexual abuse, but there are some other things. Like when my friends they come and tell that I feel something, then I should go to the counselor or something like that, and I would suggest them don't go to only one counselor. Go to the multiple counselor before taking any decision, because in India people are so attached with the culture or the upbringing, that the patriarchal upbringing we have, or the kind of geographical influence or the gender influence that we have, we can be biased. People can be biased, that I would say, because they are not like a fair, that they will tell you like no, this happened and this is those. They would attach their upbringing to that thing. So that is, I always suggest my friend, if you are have an issue with something that I don't want to disclose, but like someone came to me and told me, and I told him like you need to go to multiple counselor before you getting, because one person cannot give you the right answer, because I cannot trust that person.
Right. So Tej, to conclude this, क्या आप हमारी ऑडियंस को थोड़ा अंदाजा दे सकते हैं basis your knowledge and your learning, who are these perpetrators, जो sexual abuse करते हैं, बच्चों पे या even teenagers पे या बड़ों पे, कुछ अंदाजा दे सकते हैं कि कौन होते हैं लोग?
I would say it can be anyone, like anyone in this world can be, either it's a male or female. It's not only can men only abuse or something. Can be anyone can abuse. And but I think for children it must be someone very close, because someone who's close is more access to the children, because children doesn't go out anywhere. Either they go to school or they go to playground or they stay at home. So it can be the family member or someone from your guard or someone from your school, something who's very close to them, or someone they trust or something. So because unknown person cannot go to the children because those days. So it can be anyone. And if it is adult, it can be a sick person, I would say, who do such things. Or sometimes, or what I read or what I experienced, it can be the person who had gone through the sexual abuse in their own childhood. So sometimes those people can be also do such things to the children or anyone, I would say.
Thank you, Tej, for talking about such a sensitive topic. And we hope that our audience, who have gone through this may find some solace in today's talk, and maybe they find their voice, and maybe they'll share it with, their family and friends, and kind of ease their burden about it.
So चेस्टा, जैसे कि हम लोग इसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, I have one question to ask you, because since you also said your personal thing in the public, so and you had gone through similar experience in your childhood, how did you deal with it? Like कैसे तुम इससे निकले या क्या हुआ, इसके बारे में थोड़ा बता पाओगे?
Sure.
Because everyone has his own experience. Absolutely. And the journey they had gone through.
Why not? And I think अगर मैं नहीं बात करूँगी तो कौन करेगा? It's very easy to just post and talk to other people, but I think it's important for me to also, share my experiences. So I think the person who did it was very close to me. He was a family member, and I used to really love him, and adore him. And शुरू में तो समझ ही नहीं आया कि क्या हो रहा है, तो वो प्यार प्यार से बात करते थे और कुछ करने के लिए कह देते थे या टच करने के लिए कह देते थे, तो समझ ही नहीं आता था कि क्या हो रहा है, क्योंकि आई वाज अ टीनेजर एट दैट टाइम, आई वाज आल्सो ग्रोइंग अप, मुझे भी बहुत चीज़ों की समझ नहीं थी। और जनरली हमारे परिवारों में क्या होता है कि बच्चों से कोई बात नहीं करता, कि क्या गुड टच है, क्या बैड टच है, कि
एग्जैक्टली
आप बड़े हो रहे हो, आपके बॉडी पार्ट्स ग्रो हो रहे हैं, चेंज हो रहा है
चेंज हो रहा
बॉडी
है।
में, तो यहाँ कोई हाथ लगाता है तो ये गलत है, अगर ऐसे कोई करता है तो गलत है। तो आई थिंक वो एक बहुत बड़ा लैक्यूना है हमारी सोसाइटी में और हमारे परिवारों में, दैट बच्चों को कोई समझाना ही नहीं चाहता, बताना ही नहीं चाहता, तो बच्चे खुद स्ट्रगल करते हैं। और जितना भी मैंने लोगों से बात की है या शेयर किया है कभी भी, तो मालूम चलता है कि हर दूसरे इंसान के साथ ये कुछ ना कुछ किसी ना किसी प्रकार से हुआ। एंड a lot of times it is someone who's close to them, जिसको वो ट्रस्ट करते थे और विश्वास करते थे।
ट्रू।
तो आई थिंक सबसे बड़ा जो मुझे लॉस हुआ इज दैट मुझे ट्रस्ट करना मतलब बहुत मुश्किल होता है किसी नए इंसान पे, तो मेरी डबल एनर्जी लग जाती है दैट ओ दिस इज अ न्यू पर्सन एंड आई हैव टू ट्रस्ट देम। लैक ऑफ ट्रस्ट से आप नए दोस्त, नए रिलेशनशिप नहीं बना सकते हो, तो मेरी डबल एनर्जी लगती है। आई हैव टू कॉन्स्टेंटली टेल माई सेल्फ कि नहीं, ये इंसान अच्छा है, ये आपके साथ गलत नहीं करेगा, एंड सो ऑन। फिजिकल टच के बारे में मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया था दैट आई बिकम हाइपर सेंसिटिव। इफ इफ आई डोंट नो यू, I would not like you to touch me at all. One of the reasons that I'm very uncomfortable hugging people is this. Hugging doesn't, मैं किसी को गले लगाना मेरे लिए बहुत मुश्किल है, तो मुझे बहुत टाइम लग जाता है उस लेवल तक पहुंचने में कि I'll be warm with you. तो वो बहुत लोग नहीं समझ पाते, एंड दीज आर सबकॉन्शियस बिहेवियर्स। ये मुझे पहले समझ में नहीं आते थे। मुझे लगता था कि मैं ऐसी हूँ, मुझे नहीं अच्छा लगता ये सब। पर जितना मैं अपने आप को एक्सप्लोर करती गई कि मुझे क्यों ट्रस्ट इश्यूज हैं, मैं क्यों फिजिकल टच से घबराती हूँ, या मुझे थोड़ा क्लॉस्ट्रोफोबिक भी हूँ मैं, तो आई एम श्योर देयर इज पार्टली फिजियोलॉजी टू इट, बट लॉट ऑफ दीज थिंग्स हैव एग्रीवेटेड इट कि मुझे बंद स्पेस में, घुटे हुए स्पेस में अच्छा नहीं लगता। मुझे कोई अचानक से आके स्टार्टल कर देता है तो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता। अब मैं डरती नहीं हूँ, टू बी फ्रैंक, बट ऐसा नहीं है कि ये चली गई हैं चीजें, दे आर स्टिल देयर। बहुत टाइम तक शेम भी रहा कि क्यों मेरे साथ, क्यों, और ये हो गया, तो अब मैं किसी को कैसे बताऊं ये कि मेरे साथ हो गया ना, मतलब someone has touched my body.
Exactly.
You associate shame with it, तो मुझे याद है कि मैं शायद 25 या 26 साल की रही होंगी तब फर्स्ट टाइम कोई घर पे मम्मी पापा से कोई झगड़ा हो गया, एंड देन दे ब्रॉट इन, वो रिलेटिव का नाम आया कि उनको बुला लेते हैं एवरीथिंग, एंड आई लॉस्ट माय टेम्पर, एंड दैट वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम कि मुझे गुस्सा आया और मैंने गुस्से में वो बात बोल दी, एंड देन for a long time I struggled with my mother। और हमारे नॉर्थ इंडियन परिवारों में अब बताने के बाद भी ना उन्होंने बैठ के नहीं पूछा, अच्छा बेटा यू हैव गॉन थ्रू सो मच एंड एवरीथिंग। दैट वाज अनदर स्ट्रगल ऑन इट्स ओन।
ट्रू।
कि बताया भी फिर हुआ क्या, आप अभी भी उनसे मिलते हो, उठते बैठते हो, आते जाते हो, बट अब वो समझ आ गई कि मतलब ठीक है, हो गया अभी, माई आइडेंटिटी इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी डिसाइडेड बाय समथिंग दैट समवन एल्स डिड। इट वाज नॉट माय फॉल्ट एंड आई हैव made a conscious effort that it doesn't affect my intimate relationships, because I'm so aware about it that I have made conscious efforts कि friendships हैं या intimate relationships हैं, partners हैं, तो उनको ये affect ना करे। But I can, clearly tell you कि it has impacted me in a very, very big way. और शायद मैं नहीं होता तो बहुत केयरफ्री टाइप इंसान होती तो
it would be different. The life would be different.
not in a big way, but yeah, my probably parts of my personality would have been different. That's all. Thank you for watching us today. अगर आज का एपिसोड आपको पसंद आया तो जुड़े रहें हमारे साथ डिफिकल्ट कॉन्वर्सेशंस पर।